Good evening, one and all. Got connectivity issues. Let me know how the sound is going. If it's buffering, Zoom won't connect. The internet seems to be sketchy at best. So I'm solo today. Brother Kevin has declined the offer to come and chat. He's got something on at the last minute, so we will continue on and say welcome, thank you. Saturday, the 20th of March, video number 2 for me. Quite tired. After that last 3 hours, nigh on 4 hours, casting Does the Vatican Own Thy Soul, Neville Goddard, Manifestation. So, yeah, amazing, absolutely amazing. So we can have a little update. Easy. And whoever wants to come in and say hello, I will entertain you, field your questions, and we will also be doing a cast tomorrow evening, public one. You can join us on. If you missed this one and you're on the replay, you can find myself and Calvina Maximus the Third, as I like to call him commonly as, tomorrow on YouTube on Indiglo. So I forgot my tooth. I'm back as pirate. I'm not going to go and get me tooth, but I'd like to say hello, Albert Gansders. Yes, fam. Good evening and welcome. We'll let others pick up the link, and we'll apologise again for the lack of Zoom. Let me know if the sound and the video feed is all right. There seems to be some internet problems. Zoom will not connect. I hear there have been some chat app disconnections of late. I think it was Messenger and WhatsApp. So it may not just be me. I have got the laptop. I'm on spls Pro. I can see the screen. 5 out of 5. Thank you, Gansders. All okay. Matthews, Albert, FA. All right then. Much niceness. Is there anything? Have you got any questions? I'll let you start, boys. I'll be polite. You can kick off the show. What do you want? When do you want it? Etc. If not, I will proceed as normal and give you an update. He says famously, yes, we're all ready. That's loaded. Well, okay. Let's see. Hope it's not too challenging. I'm a little bit warm. Worse for wear. Burnt me skin out, even though I love what I do. It is a little bit draining some aspects. Really, that's the first time you've mentioned that. So yes, we will sort that out, and we will speak privately about that. And Gansders, if you can go through and put in the information, and coming to the end, you would put private bank transfer. I will get the data. As soon as the data is in, I will get it sorted for you, and it shall be granted. So you will have to help me to help you there, Gansders, and then we'll sort the rest out privately through the domain and emails. All right. So do what we did before, and we will fix that. All right, my man. I can do that tomorrow. If that suits you, that's quick enough. Albert, did I know they protested in Europe and now they say further lockdowns and now more protests here and I reckon more lockdowns? No, I haven't been watching the mainstream broadcasting networks. I am unawares of anything that's going off other than the recent AstraZeneca rollbacks and the safety concerns, which I take with a pinch of salt. So I do believe that I heard a little bit on the radio when I was going to see Roger today and it was on about, they were saying Europe has got I forget how they worded it now. Europe has received the something strain of the Anglican English virus, COVID virus, and the aggressive English strain has reached Europe, and that the lack of vaccines availability means that there'll be further lockdowns, and that the Eastern Bloc is being ravaged. Germany was mentioned. I think France was mentioned, and a strain has led to more, protective measures being put into place. So Lindsay's just dropped in. Yes, Lindsay. You need to also go onto the .com, Lindsay, and look at Eli and fill in the Eli data fields, and then select the private bank transfer option. And then if you do that, as soon as you've done that, and I get the information required, should you wish, as I offered you, we will grant that. Lillian will get hers, Lindsay, you'll get yours. I can do that tomorrow, effect that tomorrow. I'm just waiting for the data, so that's as a thank you for all your help and for caring. So that's that sorted. What? Paris locked down for 1 month. Okay then. Kevin is not with us. He's had to cancel. He's got something that's cropped up. So we will be seeing him maybe tomorrow on a public cast via Indie on YouTube. So it is me flying solo. I have no wingman. You are my wingmans. Thank you for joining. Without being disrespectful, I am quite tired and weak after a turbulent week itself, and then that epic part 2 of Does the Vatican Own Thy Soul? So you'll have to bear with. All is good, all is well. But I'm a little bit depleted on the tachyon energy. The crystals are needing a recharge. DWP of late have refused to publish some coroner's reports. Why would the DWP be giving coroners, the Department, a private corporation known as the Department for Work and Pensions, have refused to publish some coroner's reports? Well, it's not the DWP that publish coroner's reports, it would be the coroner's office. Explain that again. I do believe I've seen some information on the SPL's Facebook, and I'd give it a thumbs up, but I didn't click into it or anything. I was just letting you know. I was there, and I liked the post, and then I thought we need to discuss this. So explain to me why the DWP have got a connection with coroners, because they're two different entities, and what deaths. And then I'm assuming, before you can type, Albert, I need to know, but some have not had money and they're no longer with us because they give up and they've committed suicide, ended their lives prematurely due to lack of support, the beneficiary being neglected, duties, obligations, and then they've exited the realm, and the DWP are being held to account, and the coroner's reports may or may not contain information relating to them deaths due to the beneficiaries checking out early because duties and obligations have been breached. That's what I'm reading into that. But yeah, please enlighten me, Albert, why you've connected, why we've got connections with coroners, and then Department for Work and Pensions, what's happening to the principals and the beneficiaries, and then the executives in office. I dare say it's to do with failures. I need to know more on that. Yeah, please, brother. You don't mind if it's a short one? That's what she said. Yes, we'll be meeting again soon. Tomorrow, I'm going to get Jan on a podcast, and we'll get myself, Anders, and Jan on a video. We're getting Life in the Mix, and I will have a chat. And you'll see that premiered, and also another bout with Brother Robert and the observation deck regarding warrants. goods control officers, debt collectors, bailiffs, sheriffs, property, and how we discharge them charges. Because of the circumstances, the coroners provide them a report for change, and they will not disclose the finer details. I'm not sure exactly, failing those in need and letting them wait for approval of claims like PIP. Okay, Albert, thank you very much for that. I will look at that in the near future, and it doesn't seem like anything new, but it's coming to light. You know, these red and blues kicking one off for the other. I've no confidence in them. I lost confidence in them a long time ago, and we know how the game goes, the game of life. Our lives are not games, and they're not to be played with. But myself and Kevin was commenting about the failings of the Department for Work and Pensions, and then weeks and months, you know, without any money, and then when they realise they've made a mistake, they backlog the pay it all in one, and that's it. It moves on as normal, but they've made failures, egregious, gross failures, but they don't get held to account. And sometimes, before the accounts get rectified and realigned, people often check out, drop out the system, or suicides and etc. Is the other tangent, the most worst case scenario. It makes me sick, hence why we would be returning to control the credit, our own credit. Hence why I'm bringing out this publication by Neville Goddard and following on from and working out, he that drinketh from my well will never thirst again. The food, the manna, the food for thought, the angels bringing the message, taking you into the pool, much like when the Christianity baptise and you're reborn and the waters cleanse you. The thought potentiality, consciousness, thoughts, messages, pools. So we need to help change this and give information so others don't feel the need to check out, commit suicide, go off and run away. Except not that you can run many places these days, all the borders and things closed, but people do disappear off the system, turn to alcohol, drugs, etc. Failed soldiers, not that they failed, but soldiers coming back from war, serving the Commonwealth, Queen and country, QE2, and then getting ultimately neglected, rejected by the family, and end up on the street. So it's disgusting, all of it. Failures of the executives for us, the principals and beneficiaries. We will see, we will continue to monitor. That post I put up about the government, and there is no kickback and claims for that story that I posted. They've investigated themselves and they're protecting the judges and ones like Matt Hancock, Nicola Sturgeon, Priti Patel. It is disgusting in a way, but no contract, no consent, and it's keeping the person separate from man, the instrument trustee person, legal from lawful, principal and beneficiary. We'll sort half the battle out. Yes, I have connected with Jan, and we're in a chat group, I and Jan Gansders, and I've got Jan sorry, there's no R there, Jan in a separate chat on Telegram, so thank you very much for that. It is so true and so sad. How's Sister Lynn's? What are you saying? How's life? Anything you want to bring to the table? It looks like a small select group here. Kevin picked a good night to bail. Not that he picked to bail, but as I'm tired and there's 4 watching, this will suit me fine and dandy. Sister Kathy, I believe, is up early, so she's retired and gone to bed, but I want to send love to Kathy, and I want to help as best as I can without taking up too much of your time. Ansders has put Ansders is changing every day. Guidance, high cons, I'm clicking it now, and opening, high consequence infections. What's this? Updated 22nd of October, published 22nd of October 18, last updated June 2020. Yes, we know about this. This was Kevin brought this out in March last year, Gansders, after England went into lockdown towards the middle or the end of March. Kevin brought up the HCID, highly consequent infectious disease, and we asked the question, why the feck have we gone into lockdown, and why is the WHO telling us X, Y, and Z when it is no longer, and you've given the link there. Yeah, we have this, and we've talked about this. Not to have a go at your brother at all. It's better to have too much than not enough. But Kevin brought this to my attention March 2020, and we all scratched our heads and went, so we are watching the demise of the high street. We're seeing old people, the elderly, being returned from hospital, put into care homes to reinfect and die in a care home without any medical attention. Their human rights have been ignored. Amnesty International, if you now search Amnesty International, human rights, old age pensioners, care homes, government breaks, these kind of keywords, you will find that Amnesty International has been contacted by a high amount of grandparents, in relation to grandchildren and also their children, mums and dads in some cases. Sorry, I'm tired. The children of the elderly that passed away have got in touch with Amnesty International and said, surely the hospitals have got a right, a duty to treat our parents under their human rights, to be sent home from hospital when, they made the Nightingales hospitals, they built, what they built and how many millions, if not billions, they put in, and they weren't effectively used at all. They've embezzled money. It's embezzlement at its finest. It's mixed communications. It's absolute confusing. If we didn't know what we knew, it's kind of helped us reinforce what we say about the non-clear avenues from the government. And why do we find out from the newspapers and the news stations, government announcements, when the government should be telling us this? Why are we finding it out second and third hand from media outlets and news outlets? Certain things that we should be hearing first hand from either Boris, the First Lord, the Prime Minister, the Queen, and place the Health Secretary Matt Hancock. He had taken out of his hands the management for certain vaccine creations. He gave out contracts to his friends and embezzled millions of pounds, but and had to get PPE and get, this is what I'm on about here, but he didn't have control of the vaccine outlay. That was given to another department. So we watched how they orchestrate what they do. Parliament in the state that it is over here, and these emergency laws and legislations that are being passed. There was a legislative ruling going through about nuisance and a crime of a nuisance. You might fart on a train, that might cause somebody a nuisance by your ungodly smell, but then you can be charged with a crime of nuisance. What is that? How do you define nuisance? Being a nuisance, a crime of being a nuisance. This Indiglo could be a nuisance. It's absolutely, we didn't vote that in, we didn't ask for that, but they're making and writing their own rules, policies, parameters. Previously we the people aren't even voting them in. We're not asking for them. We've got like a relaxed parliament at the minute. Keir Starmer, the opposition, is just doing F all. Boris is messing it up with Master Rishi. It's absolutely insane. None of it makes sense, and it just fuels the fire of which we've been bringing you others news on how things work and how non-clear and confusing they are. What would you call them? Hypocritical and I can't think of the words now. I'm tired, but madness. Get rid of debt. A debt amnesty. Yes. Alleged debt. You can't have debt in bankruptcy, but yes, I know what you mean. I'm not being pedantic, sister, but get rid of the charges that are there, national debt, and how much that is going and what they're doing, the control system of the the currency. No birth certs, it was the certificate of person. Not birth certs, it was the certificate of persons. We're going to test it and we'll come back with info. Okay, bless. We have 5 different kinds. We have no debt. One of Albert's, yes, we have to discharge the charges, but we are, there is a thing called a national debt, and there is debt management and insolvency. We're all insolvent as a United Kingdom dissolved. You reposted, didn't you? The United Kingdom dissolvement, and we know about the 30s and the 1800s and the acts and things that was passed. We are the credit. We're all walking central banks. We are rich beyond our wildest dreams with regards to the energy and the the currency that we have. Again, that's another reason why I've gone and brought out the Does the Vatican Own Your Soul, and reading from the Neville Goddard manifestations from 1933, and bringing out different ways of explaining energy, life, never being thirsty again, the land of milk and honey, how to manage Abrahamically Islam, Judaism, Christianity, persons, man, separation, food, manna, and fighting. We can conquer quite a lot with the apparatus that we have already, but there is a debt system, a debt base. You see, we have a currency, don't we? We don't have money. Money would denote debt, but we have currency, we have legal tender. So we have charges, and we need to discharge the charges, and the worst case scenario would be you declare voluntary bankruptcy and go insolvent financially, commercially, legally, officially, and worst comes to the worst, and the Inland Revenue, and people start making claims and demands on my legal person, I'm not going to put my hand in my skyrocket and give over fiat currency, transfer digital, or even any kind of intrinsic silver, gold. It would be, well, you've given me charges to my person, I accept unconditionally, and I would like full disclosure. And with regards to Inland Revenue charges, is it a bill or is it a charge? Insolvency, transfer via endorsement. If I'm to use promissory notes issued by the Bank of England and the private consortium there, I'm going to add to the national debt. So to be conscionable, I'm going to look for private remedy to discharge. Albert, you know all of this, and you've done it rather well. I don't mind saying that Bert has done some sterling work with Inland Revenue. It's your private business. I'm not going to tell everybody on here, but you've done a remarkable job with the charges and things that you're getting, with bailiffs, with officers, with language, with money, with warrants and things that are floating around. And it's you've called them out, and often we triumph, but we need to look at ultimate closure. We need to effect payment. If you get a charge given to you, what language you need to look at is how you are willing to conditionally accept the charges, much like an officer and a police charge you, and you're looking to effect payment, okay, and you're willing to service the alleged debt. It's an alleged debt. It's not real because there's no money. No bank ever lent anybody any money. If you look and search in our forums and look at debt, intrinsic, transfer, value, and there's a Justice versus Mahoney, you've got the case law references in the literature library and resource vault. For no bank ever lent anybody any money. And there's lots of things we can, Professor Richard Werner has brought to you the finer workings of monetary mechanics, and we look at it like that. Present me a true bill and it can be paid, but if there is no money, then we will be looking at using private remedy, the public promissory notes, or if you're across the pond or in Canada or one of the Commonwealths and you have Federal Reserve central bank issued fiat currency. Max Kaiser, and he's brought out, he used to be a Wall Street banker and a high frequency market trader. He's got his own little segment and RT News, and I find that fantastic. Albert, I know you follow that, and you put a recent post up again about it. So yes, we do need to have a debt amnesty and get to the knowledge out and the articulation of the gold insolvency, the backing of the currency, tender, vendor, transfer, endorsement, servicing the debt, and willing to effect a payment, and moving it like this. it's common knowledge. It needs to be it's common knowledge for us, but it needs to be common knowledge for the rest of our fam, which would then have a knock-on effect and greater mental health. So it's just keeping it all in control. Barnster's dropped in. Bless up and thank you, fam. Really don't have anything more to say or ask for now. So if you don't mind, I'll let Lillian decide what we will watch on the screen now. Yes, hello Lillian. Much love. I forgot how to say hello in Swedish. Forgive me. But Anders, you can be excused. Yes, at your leisure. And thank you for joining. We'll speak soon, probably tomorrow on Telegram or something, and we'll get things moving. As soon as you give me the data via the .com, we'll sort out Lillian's evidence of life, essence, and incarnation. It's me tooth. Forgot to put my tooth in. And thank you very much, both of you. Look after each other, and much love. Bosh. Language Lillian, Lillian of the languages, I remember. Bless up, thank you all, we'll speak soon. Definitely on that understanding, I just need to start putting together and get it moving. Well, you use the forums, but Greg's just updated the ciao to Sweden, good night, hasta la vista, which is not Swedish, it's as European as I can get, hasta mañana, and yo ate sokat in Magyar. Lindsay search for in the forums, in the literature library and resource file, use the tags, look at the tags going, there's a lot of them, use the search box and you can start typing money, credit, intrinsic value, bank, certain keywords, bills of exchange, these kind of words, and vendor, tender, make a note of the words that we use, effect, payment, transfer, justice versus Mahoney or Maloney. Forgive me for not being too specific, but there's a lot in here and I'm tired. But I know there's a document that tells you that no bank has ever lent any money, value, intrinsic value, currency. And well, there is a banking forum for you to have a look at as well. But go to the library, do a search for those kind of keywords. Look at the documents, publications, accepted for value and whatnot. Good night, Anders. Good night, Lillian. Thank you. Much love, sovereigns, Swedish sovereigns. And once you've done that, Lindsay, and you've been to the forum and exhausted all of that and downloaded the documents you may need to refer to, go into the forum and do the same again. And then look in the banking forum especially, but we have a global search on forums, so you can stay on the forum page and you can just search and it will pick up all forums and look at any topics with those keywords in. And yeah, the bills of exchange and the private remedy, transfer, endorsement, discharge, effect, pay. Bankers don't like us to talk like this. With the encompassing work of Professor Richard Werner and William Edward Ellis, the equity lawyer, that was on the front page for some time, and he's on YouTube. I think it's on Romola D Reports. You can find out the scoop there with regards to everything. So we'll help you and work along that as well. How's Barnster 48 doing? And the fam, give us an update. Barnsley, Barnster. Let us know what go on, my man. Let us know, and thank you. We'll see you soon. What can we do for you? Is there anything going off? We've got a lot of activity. We seem to be a lot busier. You've seen the numbers go up since I was on the observation deck some weeks ago. We've nearly accrued an extra 100 supporters in about 4 to 8 weeks. And we've got a lot of log-ons, activity, posting, questions, interaction, so all is good. I'm very happy with how we're proceeding and getting together. The .com's holding up, it's still working, there aren't too many glitches, so there's lots of interaction and good comments, praise, grumbles, not so much, feedback. And I put you some links. If you just scroll down the newsfeed and just keep looking at that, You'll see all of the recent posts and relevant posts to property, titles, transfer, money, understanding, understanding, overstanding of it all, how to command it, witnesses. I've got all sorts. In the last 3 weeks, I've really gone all out. So I have replied to Paul Sims and some others that asked questions, and I've created a forum for frequently asked questions regarding Eli, the evidence of life, essence, incarnation, and I created a workshop forum there, so you can see some. I'll continue to work on that with you on some of the base areas of money, property, titles, debt, discharges, keeping an eye on, keeping clean hands. Going back to the library and the vault, we've had improvements made by G-Star, and library search filter, keywords field, etc. So we've got an update there for you. Kathy has put some comments there saying, a little grumble, to find the search box in the library so sensitive I barely start typing and it's off searching before I've finished a word. Yeah, you'll just have to continue. I'll add to Kathy on that tomorrow and let her know. You can just start typing a couple of letters. The tags are good, and we'll work on that and see. I know what she means there. It's very sensitive. I've also answered Paul Sims and posted that into the forum. Frequently asked questions, along with that other man that I said. Paul Sims. It was already Paul Sims. Yeah. Roy Davis as well, I think it was, yeah. Marley 1975, all is working well. Yes. What else have we got? ADV interviews Dean Clifford, free yourself. I'm not sure about Dean Clifford. It's a comment. I said let's rock, and then Roy Dennis Duggan has posted that, so that's interesting to see. Yes. At Simon K, I've posted information to him regarding penalty charge notifications, infractions of Road Traffic Act. You've got a lot of information, new council tax information, 151 officer and so forth and so on. Kathy asked a question about a printer that we're looking to save up and get, a card printer. I've answered Black Cat. Simon K, I've also posted more stuff too regarding his question on parking services. The Oxford Dictionary changing the definition of woman and removing the words like bitch and bin and wench as synonyms for women, which were highly controversial to say the least. So that's somewhat in the right area of movement. Let me go back to your comments. As I was doing that the other night, looking at the stamp franc, etc. Alright, Lens. I was posting SPLS Pro website in the YouTube chats for the protest lives, easy traffic sometimes. Oh, bless you. Yeah, man. You're a good egg, Albert. That's why I offered you evidence, life, essence, incarnation, you and Lindsay, for your help and what you did, just so I can say thank you. And I talked to you the other day on the telephone. Just the other day, me and Albert connected, had a little vocal chat there. That was good to hear you. Lots of love for you all here. But thanks, Albert. I need to speak to Barnes, see what's going on there. Got a lot to catch up with, David, and letters to write. Just got internet at new place, reception on 4G bad, so couldn't watch videos. Oh, okay then, but that's good news. At new place, okay then, brilliant. That is, I'm happy to hear that. we'll look to catch up very, very soon, and you can fill me in. It was to David as he said, yeah, I've explained about, money is backed by something of value. We don't have money. So, yes, I know where we are, and I'm not trying to wind you up there, but I'm just saying, reference intrinsic value and currency, value in itself, promissory notes, fiat, I said, yes, and sorry, a nice one, yeah. My head's a shed. We've all been distracted. This last year has been nothing but one mass distraction. We've already got weapons of mass destruction to deal with at the minute, but this last year, it's we can say a year bang on, can't we? 20th of March. That link Gans just posted about the HCID was issued about that time, yeah, 1 year ago. So total bollocks, utter bullshit, tripe, contradictory information. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. The hashtag dick out with regards to Sarah Everard, I find that in bad taste with regards to what the issue is, a resignation of Cressida Dick, and incredible, it really is. The administrative court overturning the conviction to provide name and address in relation to suspected breach of coronavirus regulations, published date 24th of Feb 21. So the administrative court sitting at Cardiff issued an important judgment on the right to silence, the legal duties of citizens and the scope of the coronavirus regulations. So you've got Neil versus DPP, and the court quashing the applicant's conviction for obstructing a police officer. So that was some good news, alongside the definitions of women, being changed, and the Good Law Project, bringing Matt Hancock to holding him to account, beating Michael O'Benicia to that, so there's a link there regarding that. You've got two links actually, Garden Court Chambers. Kevin brought me some stuff on that. He alerted me to it via Facebook, and then I brought it to the domain and added some extra stuff to it. So you got Bindman's case summaries there. Thank you to Lindsay for selling everybody last Sunday. The chat was cancelled as these weary old men were very tired. More bricks. Missed the cast. He asked for the link, so thank you, and bless up for that, sister. You're a good egg. Expats who live in Spain, Europe, in relation to signing up for their evidence of life. Is it possible to enact it in Spain and Europe? So I've answered to that, and you've got a lot of information for him there. Shut the fuck up Friday. You have the right to silence, or in the States you complete the fifth, and after your Miranda rights have been read. That'll do for the newsfeed. I'll go back to the chat room. I've gone back 7 days here. Let me see what you're saying. Both back on the firm. The agendas are ruthless. I read that banks could use negative interest rates to rob your account for holding cash with them. Forget saving. Negative interest rates. Hang on a minute. Let's just say that again slowly. You read that they could rob your account for holding cash with them. Forget saving. So they would then, instead of paying you interest, I heard the Bank of England has set the interest rates still at 1%. So savers aren't getting anything. It's a good time to borrow right now, but it's a bad time to save. We're going into negative interest rates, so therefore they would take money from you rather than paying interest. So for holding money with the bank, they would charge you now then rather than paying you. Surely that would never happen, but I'm not saying it, I'm ruling it out. But as a business model, they need deposits, don't they? And you deposit, um, and they take it from you. You'll stop depositing. You stop depositing. Banks shutting down, then that means that the whole face of the game is changing. Time is moving quickly, Barnster. I've noticed that very, very much so, in the blink of an eye. Once digital, as you have no other option. Um, okay then, yes. So going from cash to, it's called the QFS, Queen Foxtrot Sierra. So we've got the quantum finance system, the fourth industrial revolution. We've got Nasara Jasara trumpets on the left, and we've got Klaus and the quantum finance fourth industrial blockchain. Think of that. Block, stop. To block something is to, in a defensive move, you block it. And to be in a chain is to be chained up, like in a chain gang. So you have a blockchain, fourth industrial digital revolution of currency, fiat, moving to digital, and the quantum finance system. If any of you have got a key card token meter for electrical gas, on the receipt you will see for one of them, it's a quantum payment. They have quantum finance systems, and Bitcoin being part of the blockchain. So yes, I see what you're saying, Albert, and yes, I've invested. I don't mind telling you, I've got some 100 grams of silver. I've taken some hundreds of pounds from the trust, and instead of keeping in the trust bank account monies, there is some monies in there, and then the rest I've invested in silver for the trust, not for me, and it's locked away in a trust, in a safe, and it will be left there because I believe silver, 100 grams of 99.9%. I think it's metallodor from Bullion Direct or bullionbypost.co.uk. 100 grams was £101. And then I decided to take the fiat out of the bank, and buy 100-gram blocks at a time, and then take that silver and put it somewhere, because I believe the silver, obviously silver water, you've got medicinal value from it. If they do stop issuing paper-based federal central bank reserve notes, promissory notes, and they convert it only to currency, what they would do is get rid of the liquidity. When we talk about sea and money and boat people, maritime admiralty, it's liquidity, isn't it? Freezing of assets. Remember, it's all water talk, cash flow, river flow, banks, branches, as I said earlier today. So and previously, as we've discussed, so what they would do is they would take the liquidity out of the market. It will all be effectively track and trace, chip and pin, and quantum finance digital system, cards and pins, and all of this. So therefore it will all be monitored, tracked and traced. There will be no private private commerce as such, where things aren't recorded, monitored, logged and registered. Track and trace on accounts, where we can now have liquidity in the market, and you can have pound notes upon you, and you can manage them privately and transfer as you see fit. Whereas what's happening now is they've embezzled the bankers of London ever since the Panama Papers fiasco, and the Mossack Fonseca, the Bank of BCCI, Bank of England getting caught up in a scandal laundering drug money, and the chief exec of the Bank of England at the time, I forget his name. It's all included in the Root Out the Rot video that I've done, which is 5 hours on Indigo, which incorporates at the beginning a documentary by Simon Shackleton called The Spider's Web. All right, so I see that they've been caught with their pants down, and they've embezzled into foreign offshore tax havens and shell companies and shell it's just a madness what they've done. There's on Netflix. There's an excellent film with Meryl Streep in it. Is called Laundromat. If you look at the Proclamation of Sovereignty Part 2, Version 1, you will see right at the beginning the DVD cover for that. If you enjoy Meryl Streep films from back in the day, and you like to learn about finance, money, fraud, and everything, this is to do with Mossack Fonseca and David Cameron, Barack Obama, Tony Blair, all of these that have been in the public eye that have embezzled money, or I think Cameron's dad died with so many million, but it was worth say 10 million. But just before he died, he did some tricks, and when he died, he had a £2 million estate. So where did the £8 million go from the £10 million? Tony Blair was an equity lawyer before he became Prime Minister and left a very rich man. I can't continue. There's so much rot in that wood that it just needs hacking out and knocking down. So this is incorporated in Laundromat on Netflix, all right, with Meryl Streep. Absolutely brilliant. It gives you a laugh. I think it's got Antonio Banderas in it and Meryl Streep. It is absolute. Albert, you will love it. You would absolutely love Laundromat. Anybody that wants to learn a little bit more factual, incorporating what was given through the release of the Panama Papers and the data, the Excel spread I have in these 2 terabytes that I was moving when I found Neville Goddard's manifestations that I'm reading out to you on the Does the Vatican Own Thy Soul. I found the Excel folder that I downloaded some years ago relating to the Panama Papers that the whistleblower gave to the Daily Express, the Guardian or something. I've got it, but you will enjoy Laundromat and Meryl Streep, Antonio Banderas, Mossack Fonseca scandal, shell companies, embezzlement of its finest. And again, it's not us with hatred or hate speak, it's real shit that's gone down, where the corporate city of London bankers, that separate nation that resides in London town, are usurping all of the monies, which is why the hospitals and the schools and the roads and these private corporations, which are agencies masquerading like the Department for Work and Pensions, we've got no money, we've got nothing. The nurses, 1%, carers that are doing 24-hour overnight shifts getting paid 30-40 quid for it. These beneficiaries are worth thousands and millions, but yet they get the shit end of the stick because the money's gone offshore into shell and trust companies, and when they get investigated, they don't exist. They're just on paper. They're not even a physical company. And this is right up all of your streets, but I think Albert in particular will enjoy Laundromat. If you download the Proclamation of Sovereignty Part 2 Version 1 and you look at it, it's all there. There's a DVD cover from Netflix that I've incorporated at the last bottom pages of that Part 2, the Proclamation of Sovereignty Explained. Disgusting. It shit stinks, to be fair. They've been caught with the pants down. Nobody's gone to court. Nobody's been taken down. We haven't held anybody to account. The Chancellor, Master Rishi, is now selling the Royal Bank of Scotland shares that we bailed out, or was it NatWest? The Royal Bank of Scotland, and they're going to make 1.1 billion in capital gains, and sell back on the commercial markets, and we won't see a penny of it. It will go back to the private London bankers, and it will be shipped offshore and put in a shell company. And we allow this to happen. So the system will not be brought down. The system is here to stay. And like I've said today on that video, Does the Vatican Own Thy Soul? There is an exit path. There is a way to get to the land of milk and honey, and for you to use many things that we've shown you, and what the information that Neville Goddard has put in that video with regards to prayer and isms and enlightenment and reclaiming. You can use it all, and you can stand there, and we need to stick together on this. So we need to back one another up, which is what this website and community that you're helping to grow is all about. Knowledge is power. It really is. Knowledge is power. Anything I can give to you or help you, I give, and I put on this website. We're getting excellent feedback, and once I get on writing a document, I find it hard to stop. As you've seen, when I give you data and we give you data, we go all out, you know, and the library is getting fatter and fatter. 559 supporters over 4 years, you know, it's a slow uphill pedal what we're doing here. I'm not in it for no quick £1,000,000 or, you know, making monies, and because it isn't, and it was never that way. But you can see that we are now slowly seeing the rewards after 4 years of being here, and all of the information and outlay. It's starting to pay off. We are number one in the game, and hardly anybody will come up direct and challenge or want to come and work with, because most of them are unconscionable and are only in it for one reason: to get hold of a Treasury Direct account, when clearly the game is not just about, you can become rich without actually having gold, silver and currency and money. You can become rich in other ways. So the ones that are in the game aren't in the game for your benefit, they're in the game for their benefit. So we are actually, you know, making slow progress, like a little shoot, you know, breaking through that tarmac and ripping the tarmac, creating that little volcano effect, and the little new green shoot comes through. That is the progress of SPLs Pro, you and I. And we do stuff for you. I don't do it for my benefit. I'm heavily involved, but for the good of all, because I know that once we all have the relevant information, the shit outside will not be able to be standing. Courts, the legal system, you know, the fraud there, the finance, the inland revenue, the Department for Work and Pensions, the parliamentary sovereignty, the Queen and her bullshit, London nation. When I say the nation of London, the corporate city of London is a separate nation, which is why it has its own postcode and its own police, like Washington DC for our brothers and sisters across the pond, and for my Italian family, the Vatican nation, you know, its own postcode police. And I'm dying to take a pregnant lady to Italy to have a baby on Vatican City, because then that baby will become the heir to the world's estate and then we can sort stuff. It's my little workaround, just to go to the Giorgio, the papacy, the leading buller. Let's have a look. British Gas is one for Quantum and registered and secured. There you go. Gas, it must be gas payments, the Quantum Finance System. Yeah, QFS. And the fourth, and the blockchain industrial revolution will go up soon as well, because it being 100 a touch instead of 45. Wow, really? All right, then. So you can just, if you've got something in your wallet or your purse, ladies, and you're not protecting it well, somebody can walk past you in the street and put £99.99 and they can skim it past your coat pocket, your purse, your wallet, if it's in your back pocket, brothers, and they skim, and when it goes beep, they've got £99.99 on a wireless digital machine, payment, you know, machine like they have at the shops, but the mobile version. I was once on a beach in Nissaros, no, on a beach, donkey, where was I? And they were paying with, you could pay the donkey man with your credit card on a beach. You know, that's how I was like, no way, you're more advanced than the shops in England and you're a donkey man on a beach. Well, I forget what beach and what country I was on, but I was like, wow, technology, you know. So if you're not careful, you can be ripped off anywhere out in the public, not know about it, and if you don't check your bank, you know, wow. Respect. I am not selling my little piece. Good man, keep hold of it. I got a 1-year-old now who is not registered into the system. Protection. That's good in a way compared to, you know, the rubbish that you get. Once you become, you see, the registration and the birth certificate, the bondsman, it protects you until you're 18, but it's also a threat, because if you don't play the game, they will come and seize their property, your asset, off you, and they will possibly, you know, do with as they wish and see fit, the legal implications. So I would argue that perhaps you need some kind of alternative from the Home Office, or something instrumentation wise, regards to, you know, social security aspect of it, not the legal registration side, but just your social security side. Um, you see, the other way around would be not because when you're a millionaire or you're in lots of money, you can pay to go private for everything, so you don't need to consider registration. But when you're like us and we are working class, lower ranking, you know, classified as the general public, um, how would we continue to go private in times of hard times, and the pennies are few, the shekels are low. We can't always afford to pay that private aspect, and then they don't always ask for national insurance, you know, and certain things, birth certificate hardly gets asked for anywhere. When you need social security, it's the national insurance number. So alternative provisions due to your faith and positions, it is, you know, and your living testament, then you've got a 1 year old, you know, son or daughter, and they're not registered, and all is well. So kudos to you. I commend that. I don't advise it, but each to their own. If I had a little one now, I would either not register, or I would need and require full, I would conditionally accept the legal requirement to register, but I would require full disclosure first. Full disclosure of what's happening from the Home Office and Secretary of State. And then once I've got that conditional acceptance in, and I'm waiting for the full disclosure, we'd move on from there. And if I didn't like what came back after the full disclosure, then I'd ask for alternative provisions. Boom. Thinking that sovereignty style, Lord style. Yes, he was on my universal claim, bro. That's brilliant. See, there you go then. This is excellent information, Bert. See what I mean? You are a living legend. You really are. You've got skin in the game. You're not just a keyboard warrior. I have the utmost respect for all of you that do this work, that bring us the information, that go out there and actually get skin in the game. Home Office backed away from the question, hold them to account. You appoint them in their fiduciary capacity as a trustee, and you hold them to account. Failure to disclose, tacit acquiescence, ignorance is no defence, ignorance of the law you require, and if you don't get, then it's hard work, isn't it? It's all hard work, but as long as you've got the paperwork and you've kept it, you're in honour. You're in honour, my man. So I have respect for you, Bert, and you know I do. Ever since the Solfest, it seems like a long time ago now when we was all in that field, and me and Albert were the last two or last three. I think there was somebody else there, that bloke who says we saved his life. I forget, we gave him silver water, he had a bad foot. There was me, Bert, and somebody else. I got in the van after being the host of the whole event, and you know, a whole weekend in the field, and my clutch wouldn't operate, and I was the last man on the field of Solfest. But that's where I first, I think, bumped fists with Bert's, and the Sovereigns. Good weekend that was, and we had an excellent time. We had some hugs, and Brother John made us do a circle, all hold hands, invited us to, you know, and we had airplanes flying over, Lancaster bombers, stealth bombers, didn't we? Thomas Hogg it was, weren't it? His field down in Oxford. So brilliant information. Look at this, it just goes to show you. It's like me with the going abroad to see my mum, and going to Hungary and having outstanding controversies against my person regarding council tax from Derby, having controversies regarding PCNs, council tax and things, charges on my person, and inland revenue misalignments, and then not being able to discharge and manage it, A for V, transfer, you know, endorsement and whatnot, and having those controversies open, so council tax, inland revenue, and traffic regulations, infractions that have been conditionally accepted and argued upon, and the council tax and inland revenue saying via recorded telephone calls, if you do not press these buttons, then there will be a warrant issued for your arrest. Even though I didn't believe it, and they are civil issues, when you're going out across borders and getting on ferries to go to France, to take your queen to Hungary and going to see your mum in Greece, you do have at the back of your mind, I wonder if any lights are going to go off and if it's going to be a smooth trip. And they've all been smooth trips. So it does add some credence to, you know, the bullshit that they give to you. My boy had a live birth notification from hospital saying he was live birth. We'll be doctoring the document. That's it. That's your registration certificate. That's your birth certificate there, isn't it? Then your live born certificate of live birth. You haven't got a birth certificate. You don't need one. You're exempt because of your knowledge and consciousness. Let me just get some juice of some kind because I've talked a lot and I've got a really sore throat. 1 second. I need a cup of tea. That's what I'm going to make next. A cup of tea, proper Yorkshire tea like that. Imagine if David and Life in the, is it Sean? What's the man's name from Life in the Mix? Sean. That'll be a good little chat to tell thee now. It's a shame we can't do it live, but I'll have a little chat offline with him, get to know him, get the rapport going, and then we'll do pretty much like we did with Observation Deck, and you'll get a premiere. So I'll drop a note in here and you can get me any questions or anything you want me to ask him. I will do so, and there will be a premiere of that as well very soon. If you look on Indiglo and look on Life in the Mix's channel, if you know what that channel is, I've asked him if we can get together, and he said yes. He's replied to it, so thank you all for asking for that. It's very quiet then, that's good. You all seem to be okay. Pretty much on it. The strong ones, Bert, Barnes, Lindsay, Gansders. I'm going to look at wrapping up then if you want, and we will be back tomorrow publicly, and we'll continue to look after you via the.com and emails and whatnot. If Lindsay, you want to go, and Albert, you want to go through and put through the details on create my Eli and then select private bank transfer option, leave it as it is. Albert finds bailiffs or enforcement agents easy to kill off. When I get a notice, choice of words there, I do a subject access request for warrant and store them in the process as they do not like giving it. That's one good way. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, effective, honourable way of sorting it out. Indeed. You're welcome. You're all very welcome. Keep the scales balanced is what we do. And that's yeah, for you, Lindsay, Albert. Gansders is Lillian. Barnster's got one already. I've done some for your fam, so we're all good there, aren't we? You're all looked after. We keep the scales balanced, and we like to give back. We like to, you know, when you help us in any way we can help you, we will do so. And I thank you for your support, your time, what you do, how you've helped. It is a family effort, and without one another, we're nothing. We really are nothing. Yes, right. Yeah, we can wrap it up here, and we'll say good night, God bless, and we'll see you again soon then, if that's all right. You can get off and have a rest of a Saturday night, and I'm going to go and not speak. Oh, I'm feeling good though. We've done good things. We're doing good things. if it's not a challenge, it isn't worth doing. That's how it is. If it's not a challenge, it's too easy. If there's no risk, yes, you're welcome, sister Lindsay, and your family. Much love, and to you, Albert Barnster. Give the fam a hug. Tell them Brother David says what? Hello. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow on Tube if you're around. Late night one, half time, your support. It means a lot. It really does. These little boosts and big ups are what keep Kevin and I going. So, and we'll see you. God bless you, Barnster. Much love. All right, no longer, guys. We're out of here. Bosh. My sovereigns. Fam. Arigato. From Pirate Dave. Bless up. Ciao, bello.